Hey, what's up? It's Comic 95 The Savior, and yeah, it's been a minute, so hey everybody. Thank you to all of my new subscribers that have come during this time that I've been away. Thank you guys for getting me to 2,000 subscribers. I'm not sure if I publicly talked about that yet. I know somebody had mentioned it, or a few people have, but I like to wait till I'm a little bit over 2,000 before talking, because obviously, even after making this video, people will purposefully unsubscribe. But yeah. Thank you. It took me a long time just to get to 1,000, so I'm super grateful how much easier it is. My channel is growing very slowly, but it's totally fine. I'm not really consistent with uploading, and I understand that my topic on my channel is really niche. But before I get into all of my stuff, because this video is going to be almost like how my Patreon videos kind of are, where I kind of want to just update you guys, let you know what's going on in my life. So yeah, as my title said, guys, I have graduated from Baldheaded University. Look at my hair. I know my hair is still short, but when you've gone a long time with hair that was so short that I couldn't put it in a ponytail, and so uneven where I have hair that is all the way up here and this side is all the way down there. I've been through some stuff, people. So to give you some backstory, you can watch my old videos explaining what happened to my hair and how I got to this point. I have always had long hair for a black girl. I've had really what would be considered as medium long-ish length hair. My hair was down to my bra strap. So, with that said, to go from that to not just having short hair like this, but having hair that was so short that I cannot make a ponytail like that, and where I couldn't walk outside without extensions. It was a need, because not only was my hair short, but it was so uneven and it looked so bad. I needed at least a wig. In fact, at first my hair was so damaged I couldn't wear hair extensions. I had to wear a wig, and that's what really hurt, because I actually had cut my hair shorter than this before. You could look back. Actually, my profile picture that I use on Instagram, and well, it used to be my Twitter profile picture, but the profile picture that I use on Instagram, which I really should make all of my profile pictures uniform so that people can know that it's the real me. But the profile picture that I use there, in that photo, I had purposefully cut my hair actually a little bit shorter than how my hair is right now. And that was fine, because I wanted to cut my hair and let it grow out. And after I did that, about maybe 5 months later, I ended up using Procol and relaxed my hair. And it wasn't the relax that was the problem. The issue was I didn't understand how relaxers worked, because I had long hair my whole life, and I grew up inside of a very strict household where I was not allowed to date boys. So much for that. I was not allowed to wear makeup. I was not allowed to wear weave of any kind. And my mother really didn't feel bad for it, because I already had long hair. And so, not to get into all of those PC politics, but I'm keeping it real. Black people, you know what I'm talking about. Back in the day, it was desirable to have three type. It still is to this day, but it was okay to say it too. It was desirable to have my hair type. I have 3B, 3C hair, and really it's more on the 3C side. But again, my hair is a little bit looser than a 3C girl. So anyway, like I was saying, I had naturally curly hair, and my hair is naturally long, and my hair actually responds really well to being straightened. For example, I don't have a relaxer in my hair. This is how straight I'm able to get my hair just using a flat iron. So yeah, with that said, I never really felt like I was missing out. I just had to learn how to straighten my own hair, which worked just fine. But after coming to Japan, I was tired of dealing with the heat and my hair being sweated out, and I was like, you know what? I'm grown. Just like how I can have sex, and just like how I can drink alcohol, things that I grew up just not ever wanted to do because I was scared out of doing these things. I thought, I've already dyed my hair before. Why haven't I relaxed it? Why didn't I think to relax it back in America? I had no idea why I never did this. And honestly, I feel like part of it was motivation, because at that time when I was becoming an adult, this whole natural hair movement thing was starting to take off. And people were starting to wear wigs and whatnot, and not in the sense of the cheap, dollar store type stuff. But I mean it started to become acceptable. People were gluing down wigs, etc., laying wigs, these expensive, hairstyles that weren't a thing back when I was growing up. And I'm not that old, but I'm just saying people don't understand how big of a change has taken place within the black beauty community. Even getting your nails done, everything has skyrocketed in price. And I also want to add, I don't pay for that either. I polish my own nails. I don't I've never got, I don't, no, to that back. I've gotten my nails done one time, but it wasn't to get them polished. I got a French tip for my trip to New York, in which I got catfish, but we're not going to talk about that. I made a video on that already. But yeah, so I've never gotten my hair done to this day. I've never gone to a beauty salon. I've never gotten a pedicure. I've never gotten a real manicure. I just don't do those things. And it's not because I don't have the money for it. I just grew up poor. So for me, when I think of money, I want to go places and do fun shit, and I want to eat good food. I don't think about I want to get my hair done and nobody's going to know how much money I paid for it. I'm going to sweat it out. Like, to me, that's a total waste. I would rather have pictures and videos to remember and look back on things that I did, and to show my children in the future, and to show my subscribers I'm going to make money. I'm a vlogger, blogger, whatever you want to call it. This is my job. And yeah. So anyway, it just feels so good to like have finally graduated from Baldheaded University, because y'all don't understand the struggle. I feel so hypocritical because when I cut my own hair, I didn't care. I was like, oh, hair doesn't define you, whatever, because my hair was healthy and it was okay to cut my hair and it looked nice. But when you go through something traumatic and have something even more traumatic happen after that, and then to deal with even more traumatic things after that, like, it was like an endless, never giving up, relentless type of thing, so to speak. So long story short, I had noticed that my hair had like just started falling out. Like, my bangs were patchy. I'd have random like pieces in the back of my head where it would be like a little itty bitty piece like standing up like that, and I'd be like, what's going on with my hair? Like, why am I suddenly losing hair? And then I had to learn about the line of demarcation. This is from me not relaxing my hair properly, and so a mixture of me overlapping relaxers, and even more so, not so much the overlapping part, because my hair was actually pretty strong, and Japanese relaxers are pretty weak because people here don't normally have coarse hair. My issue was I wasn't relaxing my hair frequently enough, and so my new growth would come in and I would have, the curly hair on top. It would be too heavy for the straightened and relaxed pieces of hair. So the straightened pieces of hair that were like, this is not chemically straightened hair, might I add. I flat ironed this part would all like just fall out randomly. Like, my hair sheds a lot naturally, so I didn't notice this at first. I would only notice when looking in the mirror and seeing, why does my hair look so thin, and why is this part really short but this part's really long? I wasn't seeing what was going on. I didn't notice it. And again, I was ignorant because I never had a relaxer. And same thing goes like with hair extensions, weaves, wigs, etc. I didn't know. I still kind of don't understand what, all these different type things like lace fronts, this, that, and the other. Like, I had to learn all of these terminologies or whatever because I didn't grow up being bald-headed. I literally had to enter Baldheaded Academy, like, without any prior experience. So I was literally like watching YouTube videos and reading blog posts and just trying to learn as much as I can about hair. So yeah, and then to make matters worse, the reason why I got into this whole situation got even worse after that. So at first I was dealing with, okay, I'm having to regrow my hair, and that was fine because like my hair was short, but it wasn't like too short. Like, it was short and bad, but like it could have been worse. And so I decided to buy myself a cheap wig, which looked awful, might I add. But I'm in Japan and people have low standards for hair, and whatever, like, guys are dumb here. They're not used to seeing girls with fake hair, so people normally thought it was my real hair. Every once in a while, like, of course, like, somebody would know that it's not my real hair, but for the most part, like, no, like, nobody questioned anything. People thought it was my natural hair. So yeah, and I discovered that brown hair actually looks pretty good on me. And so it made me think back to like how I actually used to have reddish brown hair back when I was like 18, 19 years old in the US, when I was working at Navy Pier and the Sky Deck in Chicago at the Willis Tower. So, I guess if you don't know, I used to be a tour guide in Chicago. So yes, I am aware that I have a good voice. And so what was I gonna say? Yeah, after I did that, I ended up getting my first normal homeroom job, like completely normal, where I wasn't just working there a few days a week, but like full-time Monday through Friday. And that job literally had me in tears. You can go back and watch my old journals in which I talk about my experience working there. But what happened was, after I had decided to quit my job, I stupidly used my money and I decided to be done with it, and I wanted to go brown. And my hair was already breaking off at that point because I had, been straightening my hair and whatnot. And so I went and I relaxed my hair, and then I bleached my hair literally the same day, and then I dyed my hair, and then I was wondering, why is my hair literally felt like mush. It literally just came directly out of my scalp. And I couldn't, like, I don't know how I didn't cry, but like I wanted to, like, mentally, but like there were no tears. I was just like, it's gonna grow back. Like, this, it's just a little clump. Maybe this part got a little too bleached. No. My hair was gone. I fried my hair. And I always used to say, and it's still true, my hair is very strong. So like, I know that I have 3 type hair, which you would think is, weaker than 4 type hair, which really is reverse psychology thing. Because if you think about it, because black hair requires so much care in comparison to white and Asian hair, actually our hair is a lot more fragile. It feels like it's rough and tough and coarse in comparison to Asian and white hair, but realistically, when you are comparing our hair, we can't do the stuff that you guys can't. Like, for example, you all just flip your hair up into a ponytail. You don't have to worry about your pillowcase. You all don't need, bonnets and things like that and all type of good stuff. You don't have to worry about that. For me, I can't even, just use, you all don't like certain shampoos because it makes your hair look flat. For me, using white people shampoo means my hair goes down the drain. I cannot use just any old product. So you need to use stuff that adds moisture to it. And you will learn that the hard way if you make those type of mistakes as a black person. So our hair needs to be moisturized. We cannot have dry hair. And so things like even how my hair is right now, for a white person, it's like, oh my God, your hair is greasy. You need to wash it. But for me, it's this is perfect. My hair is flipsy. It has body and it is moisturized. I have oils, hydrated. So yeah, that's another interesting thing. And I talked about this a little bit when I was dating my ex show. He freaked out because he was like, why are you putting oil in your hair? You're supposed to put it on in the shower and you need to rinse it out. It's sir, respectfully, my hair needs to be oiled after it's been wet, not the other way around. And also, I do not need to wash it out. It needs to be on top of water. But we ain't gonna get into all of that crap. Long story short, there's definitely some major differences between black and white people hair, as we call it. Y'all know what I'm talking about. This goes for Hispanic girls too and Asian girls too. Your hair is very different from black people hair, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying it's to shame you, bash you, whatever. I'm just explaining it's tough on us. So it's hard for us to grow hair because naturally our hair is short, and so even if you take the best care of your hair, it's all based on genetics. It's just like with your body. You can do all of the chest exercises in the world and butt exercises, but a lot of the way that your body is built as a woman is based off of genetics. If you have A-cup breasts, you can do all the bench presses and push-ups that you want to. You're not going to go from an A cup to double D's. It doesn't work that way. And same thing goes for your butt. You can lift your butt. I live next to the expressway, people. You can do squats and whatnot to lift your butt, but you're not going to be sporting some BBL style huge patty cake style cheeks. Okay, there's limitations to what you can do. And even other things, for example, contouring. If you have a very round face, there's limitations what it could do. If you have a really big nose, there's people with bigger noses than I even have. Even for myself, there's limitations. I am not going to achieve some super straight stencil button nose. I have a Nubian nose. My nose is straight, but it's big. So you see what I'm saying? There's limitations to what you can do with makeup. I have small eyes. My eyes are almond shaped. I can do something like wear circle lenses, but there's limitations to how big I can make my eyes appear. There's limitations to what I can do about my hooded eyelids. I have a crease. My eyelids are fat, so if I try to do things like wear eyeshadow, it gets swallowed by it and it gets all messy and whatnot because my eyelids are chunky. But that's another story, and I can get into all that stuff right now. So long story short, it is very difficult to grow your hair back out for two reasons. One, you have to decide as a black woman, are you going to be willing to go bald-headed? And I was not willing to do that. I really should have just cut off my hair and done a big chop to let my hair grow out naturally and stop adding heat, stop blow drying, stop straightening, stop relaxing altogether, and just plop a wig on. And I did not do that. Instead, I was wearing my hair natural, underneath, where my hair would be curly underneath, and I would brush it back into a little ponytail, and I'd put a wig on top. But then I eventually got to the point where my hair was long enough, and I started buying extensions. And this was the downside, because then I started straightening my hair, and then I even started relaxing my hair too, and I wasn't keeping up with it. And then I even dyed my hair black so that I wouldn't have those brown and blondish bits. So I did all type of stuff. Then I kept flip-flopping back and forth. I would be like, okay, I'm fine with my hair being natural, I'm not going to straighten anymore. And then I'd be like, oh my God, I need to straighten my hair with chemicals. I'm tired of having to put so much heat in my hair. I'm tired of sweating out my hair. And I would just flip-flop back and forth. And so that's the reason why it took me nearly 3 years. If not, I think it has been 3 years. Yeah, 3 years. It took me 3 years to grow my hair back out, because this whole fiasco happened in 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022. It took me 3 years exactly, because literally just a few weeks ago, literally a couple of weeks ago, I just started wearing my hair natural. I think it's just been for about a week. It's been 1 week now. And I want to tell you guys, all jokes aside, I know I titled this video and just said that I graduated from Baldheaded Academy, but I want to really just reflect on that and tell you guys that it felt so empowering and good to be able to walk out the door with my real hair. And it's funny because this hair is short, especially a white or Asian person, but I almost wanted to cry because I have literally spent the past 3 years, even with wigs, wondering, is my track showing? Is my hair falling out? Can people see? Do guys know that this isn't my real hair? Is he gonna like me if he sees me without my hair? I literally became my hair, like more than I ever had. And I always taken pride in my hair. I remember even like arguing with my sisters or people that I didn't like that were bullying me, might I also add, before you'd be like, oh, well, you know, that's justice for you. And calling them bald-headed and saying things like, you know, ignorant and insulting them, but they were doing it to me, might I also add. So that was the reason why I came to something I knew was going to hurt their feelings. And after seeing what it was like to have the shoe on the other foot, it humbled the fuck out of me, because now I have a newfound appreciation for women that, you know, have naturally short hair. Because I remember going to school with girls who literally had hair that was so short it didn't even leave the top of their head. Like, even after me damaging the shit out of my hair, it's still, you know, I could brush my hair. It was long enough to make a little, you know, a baby booty ponytail, like, you know, maybe about this long or something. But I didn't have hair that was so short that I couldn't even, like, you know, braid it or something. Like, there's girls who that's their natural hair. And I know that there's women that, you know, choose to cut their hair. But that's different. Again, like, if you choose to have, like, you know, the bald look, a fade, whatever, that's different. Not to mention, let's keep it real here, people. I don't have the face or the body to sport a bald, shaved head to begin with. I have, like, my face is round. Well, my face isn't really round. My face is really more on the square side. But I have chubby cheeks, which makes my face more round. And with that said, I don't look good without hair. Like, short hair looks good on me, as you guys can see right now, surprisingly. And long hair looks good on me too. But I do not look good with no hair. That does not look good on me. Like, I can't sport that. For starts, I got a big ass fucking head. And secondly, my cheeks are too chunky for that. Like, I have a fat face. Like, and that's cool. But if you wouldn't do that, I mean, you do your own thing. I'm being real with myself and not being politically correct. I know it doesn't look good on me. And so for me, it made me super self-conscious. So, like I said, I literally could just cry. It was literally like 2 weeks ago on a Sunday. And for the first time, I had decided to go out the door with no hair extensions, no wig. And it wasn't really because I wanted to, actually. I was looking to find my short hair extensions that I normally use for when I wanted to wear my hair natural and short. And whenever I would have my hair short on Instagram, you might have thought, oh, she's not wearing her wig today, or, you know, her extensions, because I don't really wear wigs anymore right now, besides the pink one and blue one. And so that actually was not. Those were extensions. That was not my natural hair. And that was the reason why. Like, I never really felt comfortable because my hair wasn't, like, you know, evened out enough. Like, these, like, curtain bangs, as I call them, like, they weren't all the way, like, down where they were, like, at my chin level where it looks right. It was still, like, kind of up here, and then, like, my bangs weren't entirely even, and then, like, even over here, like, my hair was too uneven. And my hair isn't perfect, might I add, but, like, it's long enough where I don't feel, like, self-conscious going outside, and I think it looks good on me, so F what anybody else thinks. But I walked outside and I felt that people were looking at me, and for once, like, I didn't think, is my track showing? Can they see whatever? Because it's my head. And so I didn't have to worry. Like, it was a windy day, and normally I would be, like, you know, trying to pat my hair down, and my hands would be all through my hair. And the crazy thing is, even with my hair being short, I actually think I touch my hair even more now, because it just feels so good. Like, I didn't realize how light my head was, because, like, even at home, I would oftentimes, you know, sleep in my extensions, to keep it real with you. And even when I wasn't sleeping with them in, anytime I go out the door, I would have to put them back in my head before I would leave outside. I would not go outside like this. And so after having spent 3 years doing that, it felt so good to walk outside and feel the breeze through my hair, and to be on an escalator and not worrying about my hair blowing forward, and to not worry about the people standing behind me on the escalator or behind me on the train, and to not have to worry, like, if my date wants to run their hands through my hair, like, are they going to feel the track? Like, to not feel self-conscious. All I gotta do is get my back blown out. We haven't experienced that yet. But you see what I mean? Like, I don't have to worry about these things. Like, and I'm gonna keep it real. Even like with sex, like, I have not had sex in a long time. But, well, long time for me. But you know what I mean? Like, I don't have to worry about those things. I don't have to worry about, you know, my man, like, making out with me and, like, running his hands through my hair. I don't have to worry about, you know, I don't know, him wanting to touch my hair or wanting to pull my hair or, like, anything like that. Like, I feel confident. And while I won't lie, like, I like long hair, I actually feel like I look better with short hair. Like, I'm actually liking it. And one of you actually said this on Patreon before. I'm not going to put your name out there. You know who you are. And I'm not going to lie to you. I did thank you, but, like, in the back of my mind, I was kind of thinking, like, you trying to sabotage me. I don't look good. You know, I don't look good with short hair. Because my hair hadn't grown back all the way at that time. But, like, she was like, oh, look, you know, your hair, like, you know, you look better with short hair. And I don't know, like, tell me, what do you guys think? Like, I think I actually kind of do. Like, I feel like I like long hair, don't get me wrong, and I am probably going to buy and wear extensions again. This is not the end of it, but I will say that, like, for my day-to-day life, I don't think I'm going to, like, live my day-to-day life wearing hair extensions like how I thought I was going to, because I loved my extensions so much that I said that I was going to, like, even when my hair grew back. But to be honest, like, no, I find it so liberating and free to not have to be literally weighed down, no pun intended, by having heavy hair extensions in your head. And Luxie's extensions were, like, amazing. Do not get me wrong, I love them, and I will buy them again, and I will, review them and talk about them again, which, FYI, if you don't know, I do have a second YouTube channel, but I almost never post there. So yeah, like, this is my Easter egg drop for you guys. Not Easter egg, you know what I mean, like, my drop hint motivation. Please subscribe to my other channel. It's called Comic Cosmetic Curls. I'm planning to use that channel to talk about, like, hair, beauty, and, like, makeup stuff, etc. I'm mostly dealing with stuff in the US, so that this way people that aren't in Japan can, watch that content, and without it being based off of Japanese stuff. Anything that I do about Japan will stay on this channel. So, like, if it's another beauty product like Procrolite or something like that, that will stay here. And, like, even with that, there's nothing wrong with the brand Procrolite. I loved it. It was the fact that I didn't know how to use it, and I misused the product because I didn't know any better. So please learn from my mistakes. If you choose to relax your hair, it is a commitment. You cannot decide, I want to relax my hair just once and then not do it again. You have to keep doing it, because if you don't, your hair will start to fall out, especially if you happen to have thick and curly hair like how I do. So yeah, and if you do make that mistake, please do not be dumb like me and flip-flop back and forth. You need to decide, I'm going to go natural until my hair comes back, and in the meantime, just stick with wearing wigs, wearing hair extensions, etc. until your hair gets to where it needs to be. I really didn't do that because I kept switching my mind, like, oh, I want relaxed hair, oh, I want natural hair, whatever, keep it curly. And really, I think what did my hair the biggest favor was wearing my hair natural, like just washing it and brushing it back into a little bun and securing it underneath my wig. That was the best hairstyle. But I hated wearing wigs, and I like that hair extensions are much more secure than wearing wigs, because they literally clip into your scalp. Literally, it's almost like your head is like a puzzle piece, and like the wefts, when you like snap them down, like, it feels like it's like locking into your skull. But you do have to be careful, because they can get snagged on things, and you can rip them out with enough force, and they can take out your hair. So you do have to wear them properly, but when done the right way, they are much better than wearing a wig. It just takes more time to install them, whereas the wig, I can quickly just throw it on and be out the door. So yeah, they're both really around the same cost too, but I will say I think wigs can typically cost a little bit more than hair extensions. And also with wigs, of course, you don't have to worry about trying to match your hair, not just in color, but with, like, trying to blend in your hair extensions, etc. So there's a lot of things to consider, but this is not supposed to be like a wig and hair review. I just wanted to talk about that yeah, I have graduated from Baldheaded University. My hair is finally long enough. You will be seeing my hair in a mixture of this, and I will still be wearing, like, my colorful wigs for videos, because I like cosplay, I like changing my look, I love contacts, I love hair colors, etc. It's just me and my personality. I like to express myself this way. So I'm so grateful to God that my hair did grow back, because there are people that have, like, done crazy things like that, and their hair, like, just completely changes, and it just never grows back to how it used to be. But honestly, I'm convinced that the people that say that, their hair didn't grow back to the way it used to be, because they're still doing the same damage and things that got their hair in that bad position in the first place. So for example, for me, I was thinking my hair just isn't growing, and when I thought about it, I was like, I still haven't learned my lesson. I might be thinking to myself, like, okay, well, I'm taking care of my hair, I'm washing, I'm doing whatever, but I'm busy relaxing my hair every few months, and I'm not keeping a schedule with it. Like, for me, my hair needed to be relaxed at least once every month, or, well, I don't say at least, it needs to be done at least every 2 months, and at the very least every 2 months, but really every, like, I would say 6 weeks, so like maybe every 5-6 weeks, my hair was ready for a touch-up. And when I wasn't doing that, it started breaking off. But when I was relaxing my hair every single month, my hair actually grew longer. And it's not because relaxers grow your hair, but because my hair is straight, and I'm not having to manipulate it so much, because it's naturally staying straight, and it requires much lower amount of heat to get straightened after taking, a bath or shower. I wasn't having to use as much heat, And because, again, less manipulation, my hair was growing longer. So I remember literally looking in the bathroom, like even back when I was practically homeless and I was in Osaka, and I was like, wow, like my hair is so long. I didn't even like recognize myself. And that was the reason why, because I, wasn't really doing much to my hair. It was already straight, and I was also keeping up with it. I was relaxing it every, 1 to 2 months. And as it got near the end of the year, I had stopped doing that. And I was thinking to myself, why is my hair breaking off? And I wasn't able to, figure it out. And that's what messed me up, because even as it started breaking off, I didn't understand that the solution was not to go back to wearing my hair natural. The solution should have been relax your hair to stop it from breaking, or chop it off and go natural. And I did, neither. I just switched back and forth. I would go natural for a minute thinking this will help recuperate my hair, and then I'd be like, okay, well, that's a month or two of being natural. Let's go back to, relaxing your hair. Big mistake. So yeah, off of that anyway, it took a huge toll on my mental health. I feel so much better now. And just being able to honestly and confidently talk to you about this, because that did really hurt me, and I felt really ashamed and embarrassed with, having to take off my wig at night, or having to take out my hair extensions, especially when you're trying to date in a country that isn't even used to black people and black hair problems. So I have so much more respect for people that, have to wear, hair in order to like even have the length that I have. I can't imagine. And again, like, not to try to, belittle you or make your problems feel insignificant to mine. I'm just saying that when you go from having something to losing it, it hurts a lot more than never having anything. Like, for example, for myself, I grew up poor. And so for me, even when I lose things that like I currently have right now, I don't feel so bad about it because I'm used to having nothing. But if you take somebody that's lived their life as a billionaire or multimillionaire, like Kylie Jenner or something, they've never experienced, especially Kylie even more so than Kim, because Kylie's even younger than me. I think, well, she's like 2 years younger than me. They have never experienced what it's like to be a regular person. So when you snatch away people's riches or whatnot, I know we laugh at it and be like, oh, well, try living like me. It's harder on you because all you've ever had was everything handed to you. It's like being a spoiled kid and then like finally ending up in prison, having everything taken away from you and not being able to scream and cry and yell and be abusive and manipulative to get what you want. You have to face reality. And that's, what it's like for me. I've always had long hair. I have always had strong hair, as I was getting at. And so even when I had bleached my hair, this was my first time bleaching my hair when I was like 18, 19 years old. And even when I had, lost hair before, it never was something that extreme where, it took years to come back. I never had to buy extensions. I never had to buy wigs. I never had to do those things. And so for me, I couldn't relate to people like that. And so when I finally had to find myself looking up which glue should I buy, which wig should I get, how much, what are bundles, I had to even learn from getting scammed. I bought hair several times, which really made me angry and hurt me. And it was obviously a scam where I was thinking, oh wow, like why are people stupidly paying, $400 for this wig when you can get a human hair wig for $60? My dumbass didn't realize there's no way somebody could sell you a human hair wig for no fucking $60. Two things. Either it's going to be human hair mixed with synthetic hair, or it's going to be a completely synthetic wig that just looks really nice. And sure enough, that's what it was. And I got scammed multiple times because I didn't know any better. I had no experience, no one to go to, and I felt so ashamed. I didn't even want to ask anybody for help. And like I told mom what was going on, but like my mom has even longer hair than me, so like she really didn't know. But alright, I'm done with that. Anyway, long story short, I felt so good not having to think and worry about my hair. And again, like, if you are a white or Asian person or Hispanic person watching this, like, please understand. I know that you guys can have short hair too, and short hair is not exclusive to black people. I know. But generally speaking, it is a lot more possible for people of other races to naturally grow out their hair. For black people, that is extremely difficult to do, if even possible at all. It's really genetic based. It's not a matter of how good or bad you take care of your hair. Of course, taking better care can help it grow longer, but really it's just retaining the length that was breaking off because you weren't taking proper care of it. You can buy the most expensive products, like the best care. There's people that have been wearing their hair natural for longer than I've been alive, and their hair still isn't even my length. And here I am, I straighten my hair every day. I blow dry it every day. I don't take the best care of it, and my hair is still longer and probably even healthier than those people. So yeah, it does take a toll on you. And people try to say, oh, like, length of hair doesn't matter, whatever, and this, that, and the other. It's like, it's associated with, I can't say that word, femininity. It's something that we want to have as girls. It's just like how men want to be tall. And you can say being tall doesn't make you masculine, but unfortunately, that is how you're going to be viewed. Women normally don't like short men because we view short men as being feminine. That's just facts. Likewise, men don't normally like girls with short hair because it looks masculine. I don't make the rules. I play by them, as I always say. So, anyway, yeah, basically I just feel super, super happy, like, having my hair back. And to be honest, I think if it starts getting too long, I'll probably actually cut it back to around this length. I love this. It's easy to straighten, easy to style, and I think it looks good on me. So yeah, off of that, what I want to talk about was, we're at nearly 30 minutes, so good timing for me to stop it there. I wanted to update you guys. I have been going on so many dates, and I've been having a lot of fun. I really found that if I don't link my Instagram account on my Tinder account, I find it much easier to talk to people more seriously and have better dates and more meaningful conversations. I've also found that people are more willing to take you where you want to go if you just fill it out inside your profile. I always thought that it was tacky and classless, but I literally put inside my profile that I don't drink alcohol or coffee, and that I like yakiniku, and that I want to go on a date, and that, I speak English. And that literally has completely changed the way that I interact with people. I have a lot more people that are bilingual talking to me. I have a lot more people that, are willing to, like, just pick me up and take me out to yakiniku, instead of me having to go to some cheap bar or cafe and feeling disappointed, or having to talk to a guy and he later reveals, hey, let's go and have drinks. Whereas instead, now I can rule out people because I know that they're serious about me or not based off of what they said in their first message. And yeah, there's so much more to be said about it. I went into more detail on Patreon, but long story short, I've actually been enjoying my life. So of course I want a boyfriend, I want to get married, I want a husband. But for the time being, like, this is working out for me. Like, I feel much happier with my life. I feel more satisfied. Yeah, really adapted and readjusted to Tokyo, and I'm really grateful to God that things worked out for me, because I was really afraid that I was going to have wasted my time and money, because it was definitely really hard transitioning here. I've had to get my money together. Things still not 100% perfect, but I've pretty much gotten caught up on most of the things that I owe money on, so that made me feel really good that I'm in a better place financially. I felt really happy about this Tokyo situation, because my biggest fear was when I had left Tokyo, I didn't have Japanese language ability like that. And I was afraid that when I came back to Tokyo that I would probably hate it more than Osaka, because foreigners always say that Tokyo is the, their least favorite place in comparison. People always say that Osaka is much better, Kansai is much better than Kanto, and even Japanese people will tell you that. But normally for their reason, it's a bias, because Osaka people don't like Tokyo and vice versa. But really, I feel like it's more talked about in media and believed mythologically, whatever you want to call it, like, rather than people really talking about it. But I will be honest, I don't like Osaka people at all. I agree with Tokyo people. But yeah, I was afraid that was going to happen. I was afraid that I was going to come to Tokyo after having not been there for a while, and that I would see Tokyo from a completely different angle, because I can actually understand Japanese now, and I can actually read Japanese, and I can, read and write, and I understand what's going on around me. And so I was afraid that Tokyo people really were going to be more rude. But literally from my first day here, I made a video already talking about how I was happy. I was greeted by people were talking to me, and I just felt so happy. I felt so good about myself, and it really made me happy to have come back to Japan and taken that chance, because I had avoided doing it for so long, because I just kept feeling like, well, I've invested so much, I moved here, and I don't want to start over, and I don't have a job there. And then, like, after I lost everything, like, after I had quit my job, after, me and my fiance broke up, because I literally lost 2 fiancés in Osaka. I had a really embarrassing relationship with a guy that I called Millie Bay, which is what really led me down the slippery slope of just not giving a F and doing my bald-headed whole shit. And so, yeah, like, I literally felt like I wasn't even being myself anymore. And I feel like this is the best thing that I've ever done. It's ever happened to me since I've been here in Japan, was choosing to go back. And I think that a lot of people are afraid to take risks and chances. And I always consider myself to be an adventurous and ambitious person. It's a part of me being a Capricorn. And it's just my personality. And the way that I always view it is, I would rather live my life having never gotten anything than to live my life full of regrets and what ifs and wondering, like, what if I moved back to Tokyo? What if I did whatever? And it's thanks to doing this that I have a new visa, entertainment visa, talent, for modeling specifically. And I always thought like, oh, I'm too fat, or I'm too ugly, my skin is too dark, I'm too whatever, like I can't do these things, I'm not as pretty as Japanese girls or whatever. And I'm being real with you, like even with the white girls, I like always thought like, okay, like my skin isn't white like theirs, I don't look like a princess, like I don't have blue eyes. And I just constantly tell myself like I don't deserve that. I can't do that. And I know I joke and I brag and I say, oh, look, I'm the baddest bitch in Osaka, whatever to you guys. But it's totally different when, like, you're being judged in a country in which there are very strict beauty standards. I'm not blind to those things. And even my age, like, normally models, they try to find girls that are, like, in their young teens. Like, I'm talking about preteen ages, like 11, 12 years old. And normally the cap for starting modeling is normally about 16 to 18 years old. People, once you get to be 23 and up, you're considered old. In fact, most people have a cap where they don't work with models over the age of 23 years old because they want you to have longevity within the business. So yeah, but I took those chances, and that's how I got to where I am right now. Like even my place, this was my dream. When I was living in Tokyo, I talked about this before, I think on Patreon or maybe on YouTube publicly too. It was my dream to live in Shibuya City, and I wanted to, but I didn't have the money, and I was so desperate to have a place here. I found an apartment that was like $850, but conveniently, by the time I reached out to them, of course, it was already taken off the market. And then when I found other places that were like a $900 or $1,000, they didn't rent to students. I didn't make enough money. There was always something, and I didn't want to come here and just live inside of a share house. I wanted my own place, and I wanted to have space. You can find cheap apartments literally like across the street from Shibuya Station, but you're going to be living inside of an itty bitty shack apartment with 1970 style place, and cheap wood, and have spiders and bugs and roaches and all type of crap, and no privacy, no auto lock, just a really old overpriced apartment. And I didn't want that. And I'm just so grateful and blessed that God gave me this place, because there's no reason why I should have gotten this apartment. No reason why. I didn't even have a valid visa at the time that they gave me this place. And then even the way that I was able to work out paying for my move-in fees, etc. So I've truly been blessed by God, and I don't want to throw all this stuff away. And what I'm really getting at is, I hope that I encourage and inspire you to do the same thing. Like, don't feel ashamed of yourself for doing something stupid, for having a pure heart, for having good intentions, and don't be embarrassed to be honest with yourself. You don't have to tell the whole world what you did wrong, like how I'm doing, but for me, my biggest mistake was moving too fast with that guy that I had literally barely knew, which was Sho. And my feelings were real towards him. And even to this day, I'm not going to change my mind and be like how most girls are and be like, oh, F him, whatever. I did some really evil, bogus things to him back. But I cannot lie and defend Sho. The reason why our relationship really didn't work out was Sho was a liar, Sho was a cheater, and he was gaslighting me, and he was abusive, and he was manipulative. And I fell for it because I wanted to believe that he really loved me, and I wanted to believe that my life was perfect, and I wanted to, I'll be honest, I wanted to show off. I wanted, no pun intended, his name is Sho. I wanted Shogo to be my husband. I wanted to love him, and I wanted to believe that he loved me too, because he treated me like he did at first, and it seemed like things were okay. But when I really looked back and saw the red flags that I ignored, there were tons of signs and things that should have let me know there was something wrong with the relationship, from the start. From him being secretive, to him being cold when his friends were around, to him having unexplained things that he was doing, the place he was going, and even his pictures, and the fact that he wasn't posting me, just there's so many different things that I can think of. And I don't hate him, like I said. I do still love him, but not in the sense where I want to marry him, but I love him as a human being, as someone that had, added value to my life, because he definitely taught me a lesson. I wasted years of my life hoping that he would change his mind, and it wasn't until he felt like he was going to leave me that he even wanted to consider marrying me, because that was not on the table for him at first. And there's so much more that I'm not going to bother to go into detail for with this video, because I do want to respect and keep some privacy for myself, and I don't want anybody to be harassing or stalking him, so please do not bring any hate to him or bother him. And my videos will stay up and remain the same. I don't feel ashamed and embarrassed in them, even although I should, but I don't. And I even said at the end of my video that, regardless of what happens, I'll always love him, and my feelings remain the same. That is true. I don't believe it's possible to love someone and stop loving them, because I feel like if you do that, then you never really love them. And it's not a matter of me trying to prove something to you or someone else, but just being real with myself. I do, and I did love him. I learned from him though too, and I saw a tweet on Twitter that made me think about myself, and I believe it. I believe that God literally has people that you feel the closest to. It was another meme that would talk about how, character development. I really feel like the people that you find closest to you, you end up having to learn your biggest lessons from them, and they end up breaking you. And that's what I had to learn. I had to learn I cannot expect everyone to have the same pure, innocent, and good intentions that I do. Just because I want a serious relationship and I want to get married, and because we both find each other attractive and we both like each other, it doesn't mean that we are meant to be. It doesn't mean that they are as serious as I am and that they have the same, time frame and schedule and plan that I do. And that was definitely the case. He was a serial cheater and a liar. And I kept trying to cover up, but like, okay, well, he helps me with these things, or he gave me these experiences, or he taught me these words, or we had fun together doing X, Y, and Z. And because I did that, I kept overlooking all of the problems that there were. And this is not to say that I'm perfect. I shared during my live stream how I was a total bitch to him and I made him cry right before his birthday. Like, I was just awful. And I'll never forget that I literally had him in tears. And then I think back to a situation where I had caught him cheating. And he gaslit me. He literally came to my house and he bought me like a bunch of food and dropped down to his hands and knees on my dirty apartment, like not even inside my house, in his suit and tie after his first day of work, y'all. On his hands and knees, crying real tears, begging me to take him back. And I stupidly did. I forgave him. We ate together. We had a date the next day and things just carried on. And from there, our relationship continued. And it wasn't until that summertime where I really had a really messed up situation where I had no money. I stupidly quit my job and I needed his help. And he treated me like I was trash. And I never shared that with you guys publicly because I felt so ashamed and embarrassed at the time. Because I said all this nice stuff about him. Like, I can't tell you guys that I'm going through trouble in my relationship. I can't tell you that the person I'm supposed to be, getting married to in the future, because we weren't engaged back then. But, my potential fiance, my boyfriend, I can't tell you guys that this dude, is telling me that he's done with me and for me to help myself and he's going to do me this last favor, but then to leave him alone and to go away. I can't do that. And then he started ghosting me. He would ignore me and then reply back super late. And then I was so dumb because I wanted to believe our relationship was still there. I kept talking to him and waiting on him and buying his excuses and lies and stories. And then I started catching him in more and more lies. And instead of him admitting he was lying to me, that he felt bad, he tried to blame me for being the crazy one, for being obsessed and concerned. I discovered that when he told me that he had left Osaka because he came back to visit me, I found out that he didn't go back to Vietnam. He was he went back to Tokyo. He went to go hang out and meet with other girls and possibly even sleep with them. And I was so heartbroken and I was angry at him. And he ignored my feelings, basically accused me of being some sort of psychotic, crazy girl. And I felt so hurt and used that he basically used me for literally a free house to stay in so he wouldn't have to pay, for a hotel. And then I even felt hurt that when he went to my place, he was really pissed off that I lived further away from the train station than he thought that I did. And so he was really angry. And, here I am. I'm just so happy to have my own place. And I'm happy to show him that I have an even nicer apartment than the last place that I was at, when we had just left each other a few months ago. He was so petty. He even complained about the floor being dirty. He complained about the fact that there wasn't a washing machine to use. And mind you that at this time, I wasn't living inside of a normal apartment. I was paying for an apartment that was more like a share house. So while I had a private apartment, it was an old building and the place was only for foreigners. It was a very interesting living arrangement and it ended up not working out. This was right before I ended up staying inside that awful share house where they kicked me out and almost made me homeless and ended up having to move to Kobe. So it was a really bad time for me and it really hurt my feelings because here I am, really excited for him to be back and to have him here, and he was complaining about the fact that I didn't have house shoes for him. I was living by myself. It didn't cross my mind that I needed shoes for him. And to make him happy, I gave him one of my favorite pairs of socks to wear so he wouldn't have to get his feet dirty. And mind you, my floor wasn't legitimately dirty, but it was a little bit dusty. But I had just moved into this place, and I honestly didn't really think much of it because I was wearing house shoes. And again, I was not rich back then. I didn't have money like that. I'm still not rich now, but I really didn't have money back then. So I didn't have a broom or a vacuum or anything like that. I hadn't even been living inside of this place for that long. I had just moved there. So it didn't even cross my mind that I needed to clean my floor necessarily. He was really petty about things like this. And for him to have done all of that and have the audacity to have been lying to me and cheating on me, that really drove me over the edge when I found out later on. But I just wanted to clarify to you that the dude was treating me like shit. I just wasn't being honest with you guys about everything because I felt ashamed. When you don't have money, like he knew that I didn't, and he also didn't have a high-paying job, why would you be trying to waste money buying things like a vacuum? Secondly, since we were inside of a relationship and we had been talking about marriage a little bit at this point, wouldn't you be concerned if I had a pair of house shoes even although I was single and living by myself? Not just one pair of house shoes, because of course I had my own unicorn house shoes, but why would I have a second pair of house shoes when I live alone? It's not normal for Japanese people to have company at their house, and most people don't own more than one pair, unless they commonly have guests. So if anything, he should be happy that I didn't have one. Not to mention, he had more money than me at this point. Why can't you just go go to the dollar store, go to 7-Eleven, and buy a pair of slippers for yourself? The fact that you had the audacity to get mad that you didn't want to have to walk that far to get to my place, why not just pay for a taxi then? You should be grateful that I'm giving you somewhere to stay. I normally think about the things that I did wrong inside the relationship, but I'm ready to be honest and tell some of the stuff that he did too. This isn't to attack him, so please do not go and send him any bad messages or say anything mean and instigate and start shit. But I just want to clarify, I'm not just running around and ending engagements and relationships to be an asshole, but rather, I had this relationship taken from me. I was so stupid that I was trying to fight for it. He decided that he wanted to end it, and I'm literally just giving you a little bit of a window to the inside of my personal life and letting you know that there were things going on that I didn't share. And this is coming from me, somebody that shares just about everything. But this is just to show you that you don't really know somebody's relationship if you're not in it yourself. I felt so hurt. And I had been waiting on him to come back to Japan for 6 months at that time. And it might have even been 7 months, all that time, just for him to treat me like trash. It wasn't 6 months. I think it was, I don't remember if it was during the late summer or if it was during the late fall. I can't remember which it was. But I was so heartbroken. No, now I remember. It was late fall because I remember what place I was at. See, it was in December, late fall. I didn't want to share that. I wanted to keep it to myself. And I wanted to believe that our relationship would get better and that things would work itself out. And so, not to get so dragged off into that story, but my point is, I kind of felt like killing myself. I felt like leaving Japan. I became really emotional. And I didn't want to go back to Tokyo because I felt like I worked so hard to move myself here. I lost all of my friends in the process, not just from moving here, but because I deleted my Line account. And so I permanently lost contact with people that I really would like to meet up with, really miss, and I didn't make YouTube videos actively back then. So they don't know I'm a YouTuber, they don't know how to find me, and I don't know how to find them. I don't know where they live at. All I know is most of my friends lived in Yokohama, in the Kanagawa area, so I was just devastated, and I literally just could not believe that this happened to me. And I was like, I have to find a way to make it work here. I can't, move all the way to Osaka and Kyoto and Kobe and do all of this crap for nothing. It can't be done in vain. And so, having lost my job at abroad and then having a second guy that I was dating seriously, and then he became my fiance, and that guy's name was Ryota, I will tell you. And to go from losing him and then, losing Shogo, losing Ryota, losing my favorite job I've ever had to this date at a broad international school, and, going through all of that crap and then going through losing my hair, it was just too much. And then I lost Pumpkin, my favorite cat. It was traumatic, very traumatic. And then, my dad is still alive as the making of this video, but I know that he's on his last leg. I wanted to take another chance. I can either stay in Osaka and be miserable and be sad and feel embarrassed, or I can move on and try to make a better life for myself and take a risk and take a chance and choose to be brave and choose to move and go to Tokyo, and whatever happens, happens. And I'm so glad that I did that and that I didn't just sit back and stay comfortable where I was and worry about trying to be perfect for you guys, because while I'll never tell all of my business, there are some things that I just won't say, and like any human being, I lie. I'm not always honest. I don't always want people to know all of my business. I make mistakes. I'm no perfect person. Do not get me wrong. I'm human just like you. I don't think I'm perfect or anything like that. But nobody wants to say when something bad like that happens, because the reality is there are people, even to this day, people that hate watch me, that lurk, that are looking for something to laugh at, to talk about, etc. It's hard to, share your shortcomings, your falls, your embarrassing moments, because people want to tease, laugh, and belittle you and make fun of you. And beyond just how people are going to react to me, it's hurtful to me. Like, it's embarrassing. Like, who wants to share that? And I don't want, to have to relive or think about those things when I tell my story again. So I was really afraid of this not working out. And I feel like after Pumpkin died just last year, I literally just lost it. And I didn't know how to function. And I just decided suddenly on a whim, I'm going to Tokyo. Like, if I'm going to go through all this crap to, get a visa sponsor, I might as well just go to Tokyo. And it's the best decision I think I have ever made so far in my life. And I hope there's even better ones to come in the future. But all I want to say is, to wrap this up, this part of the video at least, don't be afraid to start over. Don't be afraid of what other people think of you, because the reality is the people that, laugh at me, clown me, to have all of this armchair criticism, armchair experts and doctors, their crap to say about me, they could never do what I do. Not because what I'm doing is crazy, but because they don't have the spirit, the ambition, the adventure inside of them to go through the stuff that I have. They're not as strong as I am. I have been broken and beat down so much, both mentally, physically, emotionally, like just in every way that you can possibly think of. And there are things that I will never share, like I said. And my childhood has been just so traumatic. And it's a big part of why I do things that are crazy and irrational. And I struggle with mental health issues. I talked about how I have social anxiety. I have, suicidal depression. I don't say this for pats in the backs or, to have a badge, I'm crazy badge or whatever. But rather to be real with you. It's not to get sympathy, but I want to be real. We live in a world where everybody around us is so fake and so perfect, and we're constantly taught that you can't show anything unless it's about how good and perfect and great your life is, which is a big part of what's wrong with this whole J-vlogger community here in Japan. Nobody really talks about the sad or bad things. People talk about things to get them clicks and views, and what I mean by that is, I'm not talking about making crazy titles like me, the title queen, but I'm talking about, like, videos where it's short, not a ton of detail, and only things that they know will get your attention. Like, for example, like, I don't know, like, my Japanese husband divorced me. Like, things that they know are going to, like, spark interest. And that's fine. But the point is, like, even then, people don't normally give all the details. They want things to be sensational. They want things to, just get clicks. They're not really there to help you or inspire you. They really just focus on showing you the things that make them and themselves and their lives look good and interesting. And they only tell you about the bad things because they know that you're going to find out and be wondering, how come I haven't seen your boyfriend in the last few videos? What happened to your husband? Did you lose custody of your kids? Like, they know you're going to ask these questions, so they're making it to answer your questions beforehand. Not because they want you to, relate to them or understand, like, hey, like, you're not alone. And that's what I want my channel to be. I don't want it to just be, look at how great and fabulous my life is. Look how rich I am. Look at what I have. Look at what you don't have. You're a loser. I don't want my channel to ever be like that. And I feel sorry for the people that don't understand me and get that from me. Because, as I said before, like, to play devil's advocate here, I hate that I have to talk about myself in a bad way and negatively in order for people to like me. Because if I just say, look at what I have, look at what I bought, look at what I did, look at my job, look at my paycheck, instead of people being like, wow, that's cool, they feel like, okay, bitch, well, don't brag about it. Well, you might have, a job or whatever, but you ain't got a man. You might have a nice house, but, you bald-headed. Like, whatever. Like, just find something to try to, like, knock you down. They don't want you to be happy. And then, like, even then, it's like, if I make videos that are, too many negative things consecutively, then people get mad about that too. It's like, oh, like, if you hate Japan so much, so negative, then why won't you leave? And I saw a really great quote. I wish I had my phone with me. I left it on the other side. A really great quote from Monique, the comedian and actress. And she said, I can't remember, let me try to paraphrase it, but she basically said, there's a difference between, being negative, and she said something like, a difference between being negative for the sake of being negative and being negative because something is true. And she was basically saying that, I wanted to make a video on this topic, but here's the quote. She said, there's a difference between negativity for the sake of being negative and the truth, which may be negative. And that really spoke to me so deeply because I feel like it perfectly, like, capsules what my channel is about. People don't like to hear negativity. And because they want to believe that Japan is this perfect place, if they hear too much negative stuff about Japan, people get mad at you instead of being mad at Japan, the country that has the problems. Nobody is angry about the issues that I bring up. They're mad at me for being truthful and honest. and shining light on them. Nobody cares about the truth at this point. They're mad at me for saying, hey, these people are doing bad things. Hey, this is bad. Instead of being mad at the problems and the people, they are mad at you for being the whistleblower. They're mad at you for being the person to shed light and bring attention to these issues. You get accused for being negative and being unhappy. And that quote perfectly summarizes what I want to say. I deal with that all the time. People don't care about the truth. People want to hear what they want to hear, and people like happy conversation. And if you don't do that, you become the new enemy for being honest and shedding light on it. And that's really scary. I'll make a video about this topic later, but I just wanted to correct myself and tell you the correct quote. There's a difference between negativity for the sake of being negative and the truth, which may be negative. That was so powerful. I can't really remember, but you know what I mean? There's a difference between being negative for the sake of being negative and being mean and being evil-spirited and being bitter, and a difference between you being honest and telling your truth and telling your experience. And people don't understand the latter. Like, they only want the truth when it's good. When the truth is bad, people don't want to hear it. They have limitations. Like, I can make one video complaining about Japan, but if I make too many videos, or if I make my whole channel about only the bad things about Japan, then there's a problem. People don't like that. And it's like, instead of questioning why I'm making videos about bad things in Japan, maybe you should question, why don't other people talk about these bad things, and why am I the only person you're hearing this from? That should be your real question, instead of being like, well, you're wrong because you're the only person that said that. Or maybe I'm the only person being honest and telling the truth. You wouldn't say that, somebody's not an ARPist because he doesn't have 20 other victims. Maybe he just singled out and chose you. Maybe you're the only person willing to speak on it. Maybe you're the only person that remembers what happened. People oftentimes black out things. I can speak for myself. A really big mystery that I have that remains to this day, which is getting off subject, but just to give you an example, I don't understand how I learned about inappropriate sexual things. Let's just say, without getting into too much information, I remember doing some really disgusting things to myself, and even thinking disgusting things as a kid, like with my toys, that I have no idea where I got it from. I don't know who taught me this, who showed it to me, how I knew this stuff, but I literally remember just being a little kid and pretending that my toys were having sex and that they had genitalia and just all type of inappropriate stuff. I remember doing inappropriate stuff as a kid myself, purposely wearing skimpy clothes and dancing in the mirror. I'm not talking about as an older kid. I'm talking about being 3 and 4 years old and 5 and 6, an age where I was not exposed to stuff. We didn't have cable growing up for the most part. Well, I did during my early childhood, but when I got old, I didn't have that. And my parents, I didn't listen to secular music, so my older sisters did. They loved Aaliyah, Usher, etc. But it would literally just be CD players. Normally, I wasn't watching MTV, their music videos, etc. I used to watch, what was a pop video, whatever. I used to, what the little song segment, pop video. But anyway, I forgot, is it pop up or pop? I don't remember, but y'all know what I mean. If you're older, you do. So yeah, I just remember so many weird thoughts. I remember, this is gonna get really graphic, y'all, and this is my first time ever talking about this. Let's put it this way. I remember putting inappropriate things in my pants to pretend I was, yeah. That's all I have to say to you. Children do not do that. I likely learned that from somebody somewhere. I don't know where. And I have very conflicting stories about how I did or learned these things, and about who or why people did things to me, and I don't know who to believe, what's true, what's false, and it bothers me to this day. So I forgot I was even telling you guys about this stuff. Long story short, I've been through it, okay? My brain has been through it. My heart has been through it, and I've gotten to the point where I've been so disappointed. I've cried so much. I've been embarrassed and humiliated so much that I just expect it at this point in my life. And it does make it hard for you to find the will or reasons or want to move on and to do things in your life, but that's the point. You have to keep going. And I don't care if you think I'm a bad person because I have so many negative and bad things to say, because you literally remind me of my abusers when you say that to me, because I think about the fact that I wasn't believed when I was younger, because people just thought, well, your family, they're such wonderful people, we all know them, You expect me to believe that they're doing these awful things to you? You're just a spoiled ass youngest baby child, because I'm the youngest in the family, and nobody believed me. I went to the police, I went to my church, I went to my student counselors, I went everywhere, and I eventually gave up because nobody believed me. I literally felt like I was the boy from the story. It's based on, it is a true story. He wrote it. I'm A Child Called It. I felt like that was me, because whenever I would try to call the police or try to explain what's going on, my family would make me seem like they would even tell the police that I was crazy, and they believed it. Nobody questioned it. And again, I think about other traumatic experiences that I had. I remember my parents fighting physically, and I was just 3 years old and trying to break up my dad having a fight with my mom, and my mom called the police, and my dad actually beat my ass as a 3-year-old with a fucking belt because I was trying to tell my parents to stop fighting each other, and my mom did not have my back. She did not stop my dad. And, she verbally told him to, but she didn't pull me away from him. She let me get my ass beat, and I'm busy trying to, help and defend her. I'm 3 years old, and I was going on 4, but I'm a baby. And the police came, and it stuck with me to this day. I shared this before, but the police, the Chicago police, they told my mom, if she calls them one more time, they're going to put her in handcuffs, and she will be going to jail because they're tired of coming to our house. And so the solution was, you tired of it, leave him. And that literally, it scared me as a kid. But, being an adult now, this conversations make my eyes water. I understand what was going on, and that just scares me. And then the fact that I had situations like that even here, being in Japan. On my way to just getting to Tokyo, as I mentioned to you guys before, I literally had a man try to basically kidnap me. He held me hostage in his house. And because I was on a date with him, the police didn't think anything of it. It was just a, date gone bad. This man, he perfectly framed me like I was a prostitute. And it worked. All they saw was a black foreigner who was probably some sort of hooker. And this is before OnlyFans might also add, which mind you, I don't do porn on there, but I just want to explain that. They were too busy patting themselves on the back because they didn't George Floyd me and, fucking take my life. They literally said that. They were like, oh, Japanese police are, much more polite than American police, right? And they laughed. I'm not kidding you all. And that hurt me so much. But again, just thinking back on everything, the stuff that I've been through is crazy. There's things that I've forgotten because my memory has just blacked. I didn't want to remember it. I remember being held inside of, my basement when I was 9 years old. The most traumatic thing that's ever happened to me. And just coming home from school and being told that I was demon possessed. I was kept and held inside of a basement for 3 days. I peed and shit on myself for 3 days. I had a tooth knocked out of my mouth. Thank God, I guess it was already loose because I have all my teeth. But I was forced to eat Bible pages and to drink olive oil, and I had water poured on me, and it was literally something from out of Grand Theft Auto, trying to extract or whatever they call it when they try to get information from you. They literally blindfolded me, put a blanket over me, and I had grown people sitting on top of me and pushing on my stomach while forcing me to drink and eat inedible stuff. And my family has to this day never faced any form of prosecution. No charges, no fines, no sex offender registry. Out of all the stuff that my sisters and my mother did to me, nobody ever got charged for that stuff. And my story is so crazy, nobody will ever really believe me. And the crazier thing is, I'm the one that doesn't have kids. The two people that are responsible for doing that to me, they're both mothers. One of them is a 2-time baby mama, and the other one might as well be because her husband is abusive and cheating on her. So there's just so much stuff to go into. But just to explain, when you're going around hating on me and you're like, oh, you're conceited, you're a bitch, whatever. I spent my whole fucking life. I spent 21 years feeling like I was a worthless piece of shit, that I was too fat, too tall, too ugly, too everything. And I didn't realize how fucking manipulated and wrong I was being told. Y'all, I am 162 centimeters tall. And I spent my whole life thinking that I was fucking Goliath. I spent my whole life thinking I was this ugly, hideous, unlovable thing. And you guys are in my comments, begging for me to sit on your face and shit. And we joke and talk about these things now. But that was not me years ago. I didn't grow up having nice things. I didn't have my own bedroom growing up. I didn't have name brand clothes. We got one pair of shoes from either Walmart or Payless every year. And that was it. And if you were lucky, my mom might have bought us 2 or 3 back to school outfits from Walmart. We didn't buy name brand jeans. Never had a pair of name brand jeans in my life. In fact, to this day, I have never bought a pair of name brand jeans. I've actually bought name brand shoes now, but I've never had a pair of name brand jeans. Never happened. I don't know what it feels like to wear name brand jeans. Never bothered to try them on because I couldn't afford them. There are so many little things. Never been on vacation before, other than going on road trips and doing things myself here in Japan. But there's so many experiences that I didn't have that are normal for Americans. And I get it, first world problems, but I lived in a first world country. Just because your problems are worse than mine doesn't mean that you have to belittle or make it sound, look, if you're watching my video, you can't talk about first world problems because we all first world at this point. We all got internet access. But you get what I'm saying? I missed out on a lot of my childhood. I didn't get to be a child. I spent my whole childhood being an adult. I always had to think of, how am I going to survive? How am I going to make it this day with dealing with being abused inside my household? How am I going to make it where you're not only getting abused at home, but you go to school, you get abused. You go to church, you get abused. You don't have any friends. You can't really hang out. You don't have a cell phone. You don't have any of the stuff that your friends around you have. And then at one point, then we got to the point where we had no cable, no internet. I literally was lonely. And it sucked and it hurt because everybody around me is saying, oh, you're crazy, this and the other. I was starting to think maybe I deserve these things. And I told you guys this before. I had such little self-esteem back then. I willingly, knowing what I was doing was wrong, but also stupidly believing that these people were innocent. When I was just 12, 13, 14, 15 years old, I was talking to adults that were trying to have sex with me. I literally could probably go back and pull up my, Facebook messages from 10, 15 years ago and prove the conversations that I had with these people. And now as an adult, it makes me sick because I really thought I'm just a mature person. I did look older than I was as a kid, I won't lie. But I even told these people how old I was. I remember having people at, church in my youth group that were playing in the band, on the drums, touching my body, and they knew that they were too old for me. I liked the attention that I got because I didn't get that at home and I didn't get that at school. But from older people, they saw me in a different way that younger people didn't, because I was a minor and I was developed and I was I was naive. I was easy to manipulate. And so that really changed my outlook in a way, in a good and in a bad way. I was so desperate to have these things. I made an account on these sugar daddy websites when I was 13, 14 years old. Yeah. And I was talking to grown people and they knew how old I was. And I literally just got scared. And I was so dumb back then. I was so desperate to just have basic things. I asked for these men to just buy me a cell phone and a computer. And I was willing to literally sell my life away to these people. I probably would end up sex trafficked. Mind you, I lived in Chicago and I was a little black girl. And for those of you that don't know, I'm not trying to make this a race thing. I'm just keeping it real. It is a race thing. Black organs are worth a lot more than white, Asian, or anything else. We're worth a lot of money. And it's a perfect market because when we go missing, nobody gives a shit. So if people don't want to do organ harvesting, they look for niggas, okay? And with that said, I almost went for it because I was thinking, okay, this guy has a lot of money. He's really nice to me. He wants to be my friend. He cares about me. And the only problem that stopped me was he was not willing to come pick me up. And I don't know why. I guess it was because he was afraid of being seen. And so I didn't have them. I was so broke. I didn't even have enough money to take the train to go see him. And he got frustrated with me and just stopped talking to me. And I had another situation where I don't even know how that situation didn't go through, but I did so many risky things where I shouldn't even be alive right now. And I always believed that I looked older than I was. And it is true I did, but even though I looked older, people could tell. I had acne. I had, I wore kitty clothes. I had on those, those bunny t-shirts with the little rude sayings and stuff on. I dressed like a kid. I had childish hairstyles. You could tell that I wasn't clearly an adult. But even although I was tall for my age and I looked more mature, and plus as a man, you should know better to try to, figure out how old the people you're talking to are. And I would normally tell people how old I was. And when I would tell them, they didn't care. It was like, oh, you're close enough. 15 is fine. So we're not going to get into all that stuff right now. So all I want to say is I've been through so much stuff. And when you do get something nice, you don't want to lose it. And when you spend your whole life being neglected and abused and not being good enough for people, starting to fix my makeup, you get to a point where you just feel like you're just happy to have someone that acknowledges you, recognizes you, doesn't hate you. Let me fix my lipstick. It's starting to fade. You're just grateful that someone's giving you attention. And because you've been so deprived of that attention, you've been so deprived of that love and affection, when you finally meet somebody that pays you just the slightest bit of attention, that just pretends that they love you, it means everything to you. And because of that, you allow people to ghost you. You allow people to ignore you. You allow people to degrade you. You willingly give your body as a form of payment in exchange for their company. Like, you do stuff that you shouldn't be doing. And I'm literally just now having to unlearn that crap. Because last year, I don't know what happened to me. I went from being really strict to just dating anybody, having sex on first dates. Like, I just became a different person, and I don't want to be that person, and that's not me. And I also recognize that while I should be ashamed of it, and I should try to lie to you guys and be like, my body count is at 2. Dick, I don't know what dick is. How am I supposed to ride this? How do I suck this? Like, I don't want to be that person, because I don't want you to look at me and you want fake and phony from me. Like, if you want fake and phony, then go find somebody else. And like anybody else, like I said, I lie, I'm dishonest, I'm not perfect. There are things about me that I don't want people to know, but I never want people to come to my channel and look at me as an inspiration in the sense that my life is perfect. I want you to look at me and see me as inspiration, because look at how fucked up I am, and look at what God did with me. Like, look at how far I've come. Look at how long I've lasted. And even if I die alone, even if I die without ever having a friend, without ever having a boyfriend, without ever having a husband again, when I say again, I mean, like, I've never been married, excuse my language. Let me clarify that. I have not been married. I'm just saying, without ever having a boyfriend again, without ever having a husband. I do not care. I want these things, but I am happy that I am the first and only person that I know. And I don't say this to brag or to pat myself on the back like how I said, but I want to help other people. I am the only person that I know. I'm the only person I've ever read about or seen that has been willing to share this side of themselves, even at the cost of my own reputation. Because when I make videos like this, and it's making me start crying, I know that I am hurting myself. I know that this is hurting my chances of getting into a new relationship, of having a new job. I know that I'm making it hard to have friends because, she tells all your business. You can't be friends with her. She's going to tell you our conversations. It's lonely and it isolates you. And I'm okay with that. For me, it's the cost, the price that you pay, and it's worth it. I'm okay with being by myself. I'm okay with never having those things in life. Because when you go through, just praying to God that you just want to make it to being 18 years old, because you spent your whole life trying to run away from home, you spent your whole life fucking up everything from, I remember I missed too many days of school my sophomore year, and I couldn't get, my driver's license when I was 15 years old, even though I had been studying so hard, and I really wanted a car. And I fucked everything up because I wasn't going to school. And I tried to talk to my teacher, and he didn't, care or whatever. And, he wanted me to, beg to be let through inside the class. And so, of course, I got mad. I just walked off. And he, see, that's what you get, whatever type thing. And it's that's what I'm talking about. And then, even with me going to public school, I should have graduated from Rich Central High School, and I didn't. I had to finish up high school being homeschooled, and that was the reason why. It wasn't because I wanted to, because I'd already given up going to the charter school to go there. I fucked up. I wasn't going to school because I was getting bullied. I didn't understand my math class, and I was too busy trying to date and be cool, and I was ditching classes and missing school, and I didn't have the credits that I needed to graduate, and I didn't go to summer school, so they put me in night school, and I didn't like night school, so I just gave up. And this is what I'm talking about, these type of mistakes and things, people don't want to share this stuff. People want to show you, look at the highlights of my life, and I don't want to be that person, because I've spent my whole life trying to be fake and protect everyone else. I don't even talk to my family to this day, not just my immediate family, them too, but my extended family. And it's not because I hate them, it's because it's too much stuff. I don't feel like having to catch them up to date on what's going on. I don't like all the drama and arguing with them, and excuse me, I feel so free not having to dot my I's and cross my T's and be careful, because at a young age I had to learn how to lie and manipulate people to get both what I needed as well as to make myself look good, because I spent my whole life thinking that, okay, if I don't talk about having gone to Heart Grove, which was a mental health facility for children, where I was living at in Chicago, if I don't talk about that, if I pretend like I know what my sisters are doing and we're on good terms, nobody will know. But little did my dumbass know, I had been manipulated and lied and coerced into telling a false story. I was telling my school that I was having a family emergency at home, and I didn't tell them I was being abused, and I didn't want people to know, like, you know, that what was going on inside my household. So, like, when my family would ask for my sisters, I pretend like we were on good terms. They're like, oh, I don't know why they don't want to talk to me. Like, I literally just, like, covered up for everybody. And while I was busy trying to cover for them, my family was gossiping, not just my immediate family, but my extended family. They were gossiping about me behind my back because they had been told by my sisters and by my parents, hey, FYI, you know, she's crazy. She's been through X, Y, and Z. She's on medication. She's whatever. And I was busy trying to cover for them, and I'm busy trying to make them look good, and because I think it's going to make me look good. And I didn't know we had drama stuff going on inside of our family, because as I've said a million times before, if it were possible, I would have the family-oriented trait from The Sims. That has always been me. I have just felt so sad my entire life. And even to this day, like, one of my biggest dreams is actually to, like, have a birthday party and people sing happy birthday to me. Like, that sounds so dumb, but I didn't realize how much that would be missed until I had to, you know, go my whole life, most of my life, without ever hearing that song anymore. And it's so funny because people talk about how awkward you feel and how whatever, but I honestly think that I would cry if people were singing that song to me, because the last time that I experienced having a normal birthday was my 9th birthday. And ever since then, like, my birthday has been, I get a cheesecake from Aldi and I sit inside my room and I binge eat cake and I put it inside the refrigerator. And then, like, when I got older and I had a boyfriend, like, I thought that, you know, he was serious about me, and it turns out I'm wasting my money and time, and I'm eating with you on my birthday, and you turn behind my back because our birthdays were close to each other. We were both Capricorns. You plan a secret New Year and birthday party with your ex-girlfriend and invite my friends who are also your friends, and they don't even tell me, and I still never confronted them about that. I just had to let it go and let God, and that hurt me. And so it's like, you know, you go through so much stuff like that, and it all seems so small. Oh, you know, boohoo, smallest violin. But again, when your whole life has been people taking advantage of you and using you, and you being emmed and r'd and things like that, like, and then being, you know, talked about and humiliated, like, this is something that, you know, I've always had to deal with growing up too. Like, I was always bullied for my weight, and I always felt like really, really, really self-conscious about myself. And that's a big part of why, like, I can laugh and joke on myself, because and even, like, ignore, like, people that say bad things about me. Like, yeah, it does hurt your feelings when you read a bad negative comment, but it also helps you build tougher, you know, skin or whatever. I told you guys I deleted old videos of mine on my channel because I wanted to end my life, and because people said negative things about me on my comment section, and I didn't feel strong enough to defend myself back then. Now look at me, I make whole clap back videos now, but at that time I wasn't that strong, and I didn't feel good about myself. And so it really makes me mad that it's like, you can't win. When people are talking crap about me, nobody defends me, but then if I defend myself, the people get mad at me. It's like, oh, why are you so negative? Why are you always angry? Why are you whatever? And it's like, you know, you can't win. So long story short, I am not here to inspire you by showing you that I'm better than you or I'm perfect or whatever, but I want to inspire you by showing you my life is shit and I still made something out of it. I'm not the smartest person, but I still made something out of my life. I'm not the most attractive person, but I still did something with my life. I might be the ugliest bitch you've ever seen. I'm the most beautiful to someone else, and that's all that matters to me, is that I'm still here, and I am here for the people that do love me and do care about me, and I can never make everybody happy. Like, there are going to be people that just find reasons to hate me. There are going to be people that will stick on a word that I've said, an opinion that I've had, and decide that they hate me. There's people that are just so fucking weird. I have girls that, you know, they won't subscribe to me on YouTube. They won't follow me on Instagram, but they'll, like, occasionally, like, go to my Instagram and then accidentally, like, post. Or they'll, like, one post, like, just, like, weird random shit like that. And it's like, why are you lurking on my stuff? Like, people are just weird to me like that. And I have to remind myself, I shouldn't care about what you think of me or what your feelings are towards me, because I have literally spent 21 years of my life, the vast majority of my life, worrying about, really more than 21 years, because I didn't really snap out of this, honestly, until just a few months ago. I would honestly say I didn't become the woman that I am now until halfway through last year when I was almost 26. So at 25 years old, almost 26, I finally learned my worth. And I finally recognized I'm done. I'm not chasing after no man. I'm not begging you to be in my life. I'm not begging you to be my friend. I'm not begging you to keep me at your company. If you don't want me, you can kick rocks. Fuck you. I don't care anymore. Because I've spent my whole life wasting years trying to wait people to change their mind about me, to like me, to, do whatever. I'm always being the nice, generous person that gets stepped all over and that people take advantage of. I'm always the kindest. Oh, you can cut me in line. You can have this. Oh, you need help. I'll help you for free. Oh, you don't know about your boyfriend? I'll do a free consultation for you. Oh, you want to come to Japan? I'll write you 6 paragraphs for you to only read 2 sentences and then to complain that my video is too long and ask me a dumb question that could have been answered if you just watched the whole video. I'll waste my time on you. I'll waste my money on you. I'll do anything to keep you as my friend. I'll do anything to keep you as my boyfriend. I'll do anything to keep you in my life. And I'm done with that. I no longer care about trying to paint this picture that my life is perfect to make you feel better. I am no longer protecting my family, and that has pissed them off. I literally, my mom even came to me, oh, why would you make that video, whatever. And I'm sorry, Mom. I'm sorry to my brothers and even my evil, abusive sisters, but I am not protecting you anymore. What you did to me, you should be on the S offenders list. You are a child emmer, Talisa Marlowe, Deanna Sonia Marlowe. You're an enabler too, and I don't feel sorry. You're liars. I remember literally being 8 years old and Talisa Marie Marlowe, Murphy now, I think her last name, Murphy, Murray, whatever the fuck. She married some random Irish white man that's battering her around now. She literally pulled me to the side when I was 8 and I wasn't smart enough to realize what was going on, and she tried to implant false memories in my brain and was telling me that my dad was doing inappropriate stuff to me inside of a room, and told me that I need to tell the truth and to tell DCFS, which is now CPS, what was going on, Child Protective Services. I lied to them and told them the stuff that Talisa told me, and it ruined my right for visitations with my dad, and it made it where my mother now had to be supervising our visits. She could no longer drop me off to see my dad after my parents separated, and then it made my dad angry at me for saying that to them. And I didn't understand what I was doing, what was going on. And meanwhile, she was just bitter and jealous because their father didn't give a crap. Their dad left my mom after trying to force her to get her tubes tied to go marry a ugly, random, ratchet hoe that he ended up leaving about 15 years later anyway and doing the same thing all over again for a new woman. They were envious. My dad ain't shit, don't get me wrong, but that's one thing that he wasn't, not towards me. She's evil. Really evil, and she's the one that's responsible for all of the crap that happened to me inside the basement. That was her planning. And it's scary thinking that woman has 3 kids, would have had at least 4 because she miscarried at least once. Never been fined, not on a registry, not behind bars. Pure evil, manipulative. She's crazy. And that was the woman that I said I still haven't made that video where she literally tried to groom me and my brother to have us believing or feeling like we were biracial. I remember being a kid, I talked about it briefly in the video, where she would literally dress us up and pay for us to have nice clothes and buy us fruits and vegetables, etc. Try to make something have a super healthy, almost semi-vegan type lifestyle. And she would go downtown with us and go to the library with us and try to treat me and my brother like we were her children because she wanted to look like she had 2 mixed race kids. My brother has even looser curls than I do, and she would braid my hair or style it really nicely and try to dress me really nicely and have me look like I was biracial. And she loved the attention she got because people compliment me and my brother, talk about how cute we are and how, cute our hair is. And just just weird stuff like that I didn't understand as a kid. I knew she was going to marry a white man back then because she hated herself so much. And it's funny too because Talisa actually has brown hair naturally, but she has, I think, 4A hair. She is super obsessed with hair and super obsessed with weight too. She literally had me feeling as a child, abusing me, bullying me. She's 10 years older than me, might I add. Talking about my weight, calling me fat, a pig, everything else. Had me feeling so bad about myself. And this is a grown woman that's supposed to be a Christian too. So we can fit again to that. My point is this, I have learned. I'm done protecting people that have abused me, that have taken advantage of me. And that's not what this video is about. I'm making a 2-hour video here, but my point is, because I've gone through so much stuff, because I've been through such a nightmare my whole life, and it hasn't even ended in adulthood, I want to be in control, and I want to be the narrator of my life and my story. I'm tired of letting other people tell you whatever they want to about me. You can think and believe whatever you want to, but I'm always going to have my story put out there now, because I learned my lesson. Sitting back and being quiet does not help you. You have to speak up and stand up for yourself, and that's why I made my stupid video about my experience at abroad. And I know that that has hurt me, because anybody that I've applied to job-wise, if they just look up what company I worked at, they'll see, is that the same girl that we just interviewed? If they call my job, even worse. And you want to know what? That'll be enough to scare most people from making a video like that. But no, I want my story to get out there. I want to tell the truth. Same thing goes for Kids Duo. Tons of white people watch my video. Oh, well, you shouldn't ask for a pay advance. So me asking for a pay advance excuses the fact that they gaslit me, manipulated me, embarrassed me in front of everybody, and did all of that crap. Well, that gets excused for that. And that also excused them not paying me my salary for the work that I did. Do you hear yourself? People have selective hearing, selective reading, selective understanding. Also, we shouldn't be on the same playing field. You're a business. So even if I was the most unprofessional person you've ever hired and worked for, you don't stoop down to my level. You're the business. I am the employee. Same thing goes with abroad. Let's say that I was an alcoholic and I was a horrible teacher. I didn't know what I was doing. Do you go around spreading rumors like that to your staff, to the parents, to the community, like how they did? I didn't even say nothing about the school. When I left there, I was sad. I was sad they didn't let me go back. I didn't leave them a bad review and tell everybody don't put your kids up. I didn't say shit. I was crickets and quiet. But after I found out, oh, so you're gossiping about me in the neighborhood, I had to defend myself. And what happens? People aren't mad about the lies they put out about me. They're like, well, I agree with your school. Do you hear what I'm saying? They didn't care about any of that stuff, and they exaggerated what really happened too, might I add, which I talked about it in that video. Watch that video if you want to catch up with it. But they lied and exaggerated. So it's okay for them to do that, but it's not okay for me to clear my own name and explain what happened. Not to mention, they didn't fire me. I quit the job. They did it in retaliation. It was a form of blackmail. They blackballed me because I quit. And they tried to make sure I couldn't work for any other company in Osaka, and it didn't work. That was the issue. They didn't fire me because I was some drunk or something like that. That's not what happened. But once again, people have selective hearing, selective reading, and understanding. I only told you all that part of the story because I wanted everything to be known so that this way, abroad cannot make their own video or make their own statement, disproving what I said. I told my dirt, which was irrelevant to what they did, and I told theirs. I always try to tell the full story. It's really easy to tell your side, but as the saying goes, the truth is somewhere in a combination of what they said, what you said, and then something in the middle. That ain't the truth for me. Because for me, I tell you what I did and why, and I tell you what they did and why. For example, I explained, they didn't just randomly start talking shit about me. They got mad because I quit their school, and it made their school look bad because I had to find a new teacher in the middle of the school year. They weren't prepared for that. So out of retaliation for me doing that, then they were like, okay, well, since you did that to us, we're going to fuck you up. That's what they did. Otherwise, I could have just said, I don't know why they started these false rumors about me. I'm not an alcoholic, but I knew where that came from. Literally a whole year ago, I had alcohol with my lunch. And it was a chew high. It's a, 1 or 2% alcoholic drink. I didn't even finish it. I literally had a couple of sips and dumped it down the drain. And they know why I had it too, because I told them. I told them I had no money, and I had an old beer that I had bought and had inside the fridge for a long time. I didn't even know that it wasn't something we were allowed to have. Otherwise, if I thought it was bad, well, I just thought about this right now. Why would I put it inside of the work refrigerator if I thought I wasn't supposed to have it at work? And why would I drink it in front of everybody? A real alcoholic wants to hide what they're doing. Chew highs don't need to be refrigerated. It was still inside of the can, never opened. So, just so much that could have gone into that. And of course, they didn't tell me they were going to spread these rumors. They started doing it after I had been gone from the school to make up excuses. Because if they just say, oh, our teacher got stressed out teaching online and she quit, That wouldn't sound good. They gotta make it seem like I was just unfit for the job and they had to let me go. So that's the story that they gave. So I really wish that I had recorded the Zoom meeting that I had with them so that y'all could have seen how different they were speaking to me on my way out the door versus what they said after I actually left. Because they did me bogus. So it's whatever. All I gotta say is I've been through so much crap. I have had so many people try to blackmail me and manipulate me that I don't want to give this fake story and just be like, I only want you to see the good things about me and nothing else. But I also am not purposefully just telling you the bad things about me, but I want to be real and talk about things that people need to hear about and know about. And if they're good, then I'll share that too. But if they're bad, I'll also share that. I'm not going to limit how much bad I tell you because I don't want your ears to hear too much bad stuff. And I talked about this on Patreon, but I really hate the saying that if something bad keeps happening to you, whatever, then you must be the problem. Whoever came up with that saying, Satan. Whoever came up with that saying is speaking, has Satan speaking through them, because that is the biggest lie in the world. You most certainly can constantly be the victim of bad crap happening to you. Look at all the people that get catfished and have shit like that happen. It's not always some narcissistic dude that just wants some badass, blonde hair, blue eyed bitch. It's not always the case. I just got through watching an entire channel where it had all of these, women, really nice, sweet women, not the best looking, not the sharpest knife in the drawer, getting catfished and played, giving thousands of dollars, innocent women that just want to find love, probably wouldn't even harm a fly. You mean to tell me, they keep meeting people that are catfishing and playing them, it's because something's wrong with them. The only thing wrong with them is that they're too nice, too giving, too caring for this world. I am no perfect person, but you will never convince me that I deserve to be beat, abused, manipulated, gaslit, all this crap that's happened to me throughout my life. So, I'm done. All I have to say is, I'm happy to still be here. I'm happy to still be in Japan. I'm happy that my hair is back. I'm happy that my confidence is not back, but finally has arrived. And I just want to encourage and motivate you. I don't care if you're 30 years older than me. You are never too old to change, to learn, to move, to take a chance. You don't like where you're working? Get a new job. You don't like where you're living? Move to a new place. Don't worry about all of the details and pieces and trying to iron everything out and have everything laid out perfectly. I did it. I came to Tokyo living inside of a hotel. Do not worry about all of the details. They will work themselves out. Do some planning, save some money, do some research, but don't let it consume you. You have one life to live. Don't live it for other people, live it for yourself. If you want to get out of depression and anxiety and feelings of anger and all these other type of bad things, you have to be willing to decide, I want a better life for myself. Because until you decide that you want to be happy, until you decide that you will not let other people control the narrative of your story, you will always be controlled and manipulated. You will never be happy because you will spend your entire life trying to make other people happy, trying to look good for other people. You will never truly be at peace. You just can't. It won't happen. Please don't live like that. I'm still having to unlearn that right now. And that's what I want to talk about, even like with sex, as I kind of already mentioned to you guys. I have literally had to tell myself, I need to stop and be more patient. I need to stop telling people my thoughts on that, telling people what I like, telling people what I don't like and I don't, start conversations like this, but I would always answer these questions because I thought nothing of it. And I would believe like, okay, well, it wouldn't hurt because I've dated people seriously that have, 2 people for that matter, really 3, that I have been engaged to. And I did it with them on the first date. But I have to remember, not everybody is like those people. If somebody really loves you and cares about you, they're okay with waiting. And the fact that people decide they don't want to talk to me because they can't get what they want right away, I dodged the bullet. And it sounds like such easy common sense thing, but when you're so used to giving your body away and so used to doing things to make people stay, and not just for other people but for yourself, because people don't talk about that part too, it feels good for us too as women. Like, forget about even like having an orgasm for yourself. Like, it feels good to know that somebody wants you. It feels good to relax and to make out and be close and intimate with somebody else. And I still have standards in place, of course. It wasn't just anybody that I dated, but I definitely didn't have them raised high enough. And because I didn't have a deep relationship with these people, even although I knew their name and even where they worked and, things about them. I didn't know as much as I would like to have known before doing those things. So I've really just had to set new boundaries with myself, and by doing that, I feel so much happier, like even right now. And I don't have a boyfriend yet, but I'm still dating and talking to people, even with, a date that I'm in the works of planning right now. The guy that I shared about on Instagram, like, called me really beautiful. Like, I'm planning a second date with him right now, and I don't know if that's going to ever turn into anything, and it doesn't have to. But I feel happy just knowing that I had boundaries in place. They were respected. He didn't even ask. I didn't even have to explain my boundaries to him. And I got a second date without doing anything inappropriate. So, yeah, I just want to say that I want to encourage you to be yourself, and you don't have to share your story like how I'm doing, but don't be ashamed of your story, and don't let abusive people manipulate you and make you think you should be ashamed. Because, for example, for myself, Talisa, Marlo, Murray, I felt really ashamed about sharing anything about myself, because I was always afraid, what if she, tells my family about me? What if she tells, my mom, just anything? I was always afraid of that. And I took back my power a couple of years ago when she had the audacity to reach out to me and pretend like she was concerned about my well-being, and it backfired on her because she didn't see that coming. And I wasn't dumb. I knew that Sonia Marlowe, her lackey, her younger sister, was telling her about me and telling her about my life here in Japan, and that it made, Talisa curious because she was wondering, oh, she's in Japan, how did she get there? Oh, she's going to school there. They're just curious because they have been speaking negative stuff of me for my entire life. They have been calling me a whore, all type of just bad names since I was like 10 and 9 years old. I'm not even exaggerating, since I was 9 years old. When you have people constantly telling you, you're fat, you're ugly, you're H, you're this, that, and the other, naturally you're going to start believing that. And I did. And I felt ashamed and embarrassed again because I let them control that narrative. I didn't defend myself. I didn't stand up for myself. And I felt ashamed of myself. And their abuse, their power play, whatever you want to call it, it worked. It really did. I spent my preteens hiding inside of my room because of Sonia and Deanna, and that's how I got my cats. They kept me company, and they would, jokingly pretend like they were abusing my cats when I was at school, which made me paranoid about leaving school because I was afraid of them doing mean things to my pets. And like if my cats would scratch on the furniture, they would, scare them, or I don't even know, hit them, whatever. Like I was just afraid of something bad happening to them. And I had a cat that I'd gotten before, Pumpkin, that unfortunately ended up dying because it was sick. I was young and I didn't know any better. I didn't know how to care for it and look out for it. And so they accused me of, killing my cat, and that really hurt me mentally because I was only a child back then. I was like 11 years old. And so there's just so many like things that they did to me, and I always thought that they're my sisters, so it's just, kid stuff. But as an adult, I'm like, they were between 7 to 10 years older than me, making them legal adults when that stuff was going on. They were between the ages of 18 to about 24 years old. Yeah. That was not normal and okay. But again, because I didn't have parents that protected me, and I didn't have siblings that were mature, they were allowed to run over me and abuse me. And the way that they got away with it was they always said, like, oh, I changed your diaper, I did X, Y, and Z, which was true because, again, I had terrible parents. My mom was busy working, so she threw me and my brother off on my dad to watch us. My dad was on crack, so he wasn't watching us. He would leave my sisters to do it. And naturally, because their job is not to take care of babies when they don't have babies themselves, it was double-sided. In one sense, they enjoyed taking care of us because they could act like they were parents, but then at the same time, they would take out their anger, abuse, and jealousy on us too because their father wasn't heavily involved in their life. They hated my father, and on top of that, they're my siblings. They're still my brothers and, my sisters. My brother is my full sibling, but my sisters aren't. They're half-sisters. We have the same mom, but different dad. So it's just so much. I don't want to deal with all that crap. You can watch my old video. I talked about that already. But yeah, basically, I've been through a lot. And I know I'm not perfect. And I know that I'm crazy. And I know that I'm all those other bad things want to say about me. And I don't care. And when you own the things people say about you, you feel so much better. Yep, I am fat. Yep, I'm stupid. Yep, I dropped out. Yep, I am everything bad I can think of. I'm a horrible person. I'm a H. I'm everything bad that you could possibly think about me. And I still made it out. I still found a way to graduate. I still found a way to put myself out of, poverty. And I'm not rich by any means, don't get me wrong, but I'm doing much better financially than I had been. I found a way to better my life. And I'm grateful that I made it this far. So I'm really sorry for making such a super long video, but I just wanted to tell you guys that I'm happy that my hair is back. I'm not a bald-headed hoe anymore, and I have tried to change my ways. I'm not 100% there. I'm working on it, and tried to get to know people better before I do those things. And by better, I mean, it doesn't necessarily put a time step on it. I don't like the idea of being like, oh, well, you have to date for 6 months before you have sex, but rather, I want to get to know you. So whether that be 1 week, 2 weeks, a month, 3 months, whatever happens to be, it's my business. And I don't owe anyone an explanation. And I am not here to show you how to be perfect. I'm showing you how to live life. That means letting go of things, forgiving people, forgetting things, moving on, and being okay with standing up for and defending yourself, and being happy for yourself, and not relying on other people for that happiness. So that's it. I'm sorry this video is really random, all over the place. I really do want to start making videos that are more helpful to you guys. They're hard to make because I know that whenever I make videos where I'm not talking about myself, I get way less views because, again, my channel is very niche. I normally talk about specific things that gives you advice about Japan as though you were talking to a hotline and getting help, rather than talking about, hey, look at this cool matcha ice cream. Look at me eating, I don't know, sakura in Japan. Like, it's just not my channel. I'm not fake like that. Like, I don't want to do that. I'm not here to promote tourism in that sense. Instead, I want to help people that are living here or that want to live here and show you and tell you what you really need to get by in your day-to-day life, and not showing you, look at how much better and perfect and nicer Japanese people are. That's not my channel. So each is her own, but I know that by doing that I get way less views, and that's okay too. My channel is growing slowly and I'm satisfied with that, and to be honest, I feel like it makes me more grateful for each subscriber that I get, because I know what it's like to have had, you know, 1 subscriber, or to have been happy when I got 10 and 20 and seeing, you know, 100 and then 900, and, you know, now I'm at 2,000. So I feel so much more appreciative of these things. So that's it. Thank you so much for listening to me and, you know, watching my videos, and thank you for understanding me and for praying for me and caring about me, and for those of you that support me on Patreon, and even for those of you that have paid for consultations, thank you so much. It's because of you that I'm able to do this, and the reason why I'm still living, and I'm so grateful to have you guys, because whenever I feel bad about myself, my life, and I feel like I'm worthless, and I feel like I don't measure up to much in this life, and I remind myself that I might be worthless here in this world, but I'm not to God, and I'm not to those of you that do love me and care about me. I have to remember, you know, you guys too. Like, if I were to end my life or something bad would happen to me, there's plenty of people that would miss me and that would care about me and would, you know, wish that my content, like, there was more of it. And I don't know when my last day is going to be. I don't know how I'm going to leave this world, and I just hope that however that happens, that I left a positive impact on you, whether it be me making you laugh and smile, or me helping you with coming here, or whatever the case is. And I hope that people understand me better after making this video. And yeah, like, I know I'm not perfect. I know that I am not the best person here. I'm not the nicest person. I don't know everything. I'm not the smartest person. I never want to make you think that that's me. So please listen to what I'm saying and not make assumptions based off how I look, or based off of, you know, what I say good about myself. Because just as you can talk about good things, I can talk about positive things about myself too. Just because I want to share something or brag about something that I have doesn't mean that I want you to feel bad about yourself. So I hate that, like, I even have to make videos like this where I have to knock myself down and talk down on myself for people to appreciate and like me, that I have to share these deep, dark, and personal parts. And I remind myself that I do it for me because it feels good. It's a counseling session for myself to get these things off my chest and to say it to people that don't know me, don't interact with me in my day-to-day life, where it doesn't affect me. So yeah, I'm just really grateful to have you guys, and I know that, like I said, something would happen to me, that you guys do care about me, and you do check in on me, because whenever I'm gone for a while, you guys are, hey, like, you know, I hope you're still okay, and you give me your video ideas, and yeah, it really just makes me feel really good and happy. And I also want to give you a little disclaimer. I've recorded tons of videos before this one, and I will be releasing those soon. We're going to be talking about everything, so before you get too comfortable with me, my channel content hasn't changed. I'm just, you know, telling you what's going on in my personal life right now. I talk about everything. I don't care if you're white, black, Hispanic, Asian. I got a video for you on YouTube. And no, it's not because I'm this racist, evil, think I know everything type person, but rather there's things that I want to talk about, and I want to talk about in an unfiltered way as though you are my friend, instead of being politically correct and being afraid of stepping on people's toes and hurting feelings. My goal is not to purposely be an asshole, but I mean, hey, like, I feel like sometimes things need to be said rather bluntly. So I'm not everybody's cup of tea, and that's okay too. Again, like, I spent my whole life trying to be a people pleaser. I'm okay with being hated, so it's whatever. I mean, I've done plenty of stuff to be canceled, trust me. And you want to know what? I don't care. I will never be canceled. You want to know why? Because I ain't going to cancel myself. And as long as I'm still continuing to make videos and I'm still continuing to talk and, you know, speak for myself, then I will continue to do that. Like, I am not going to live my life in fear and being afraid of being myself and being honest and giving my real opinion on things because I want to be liked by everybody and say whatever everyone else is doing because it's trendy, it's in style, it's politically correct, etc. But my goal is not to be mean and hurt and insult and bash and make people feel inferior, but I don't want to lie and withhold what I really want to say for the sake of being liked by other people, because as the saying goes, I'd rather have people dislike me and hate me for who I really am than like me for, something that I am not. And I've spent my whole life being that something that I'm not, and both being liked and hated. So it's whatever. Yeah, we will be talking about some personal stuff, and I'm sorry I got at least a few videos on white people. I got some on black people too. So we're going to talk about some issues that I find in the communities here, and I also will, of course, be making videos giving real information, helping people in their day-to-day lives in Japan. That will not change. If you enjoy personal videos like this and you want to hear about my personal life and the funny, silly side and about my dating life and, my thoughts on marriage and kids and family, etc., please consider becoming a patron. You can support me there for $5 per month. You will immediately gain access to over 100 private videos that will never be made public here on YouTube, and tons of pictures and blog posts, written journal blog posts that I have not shared publicly, like just with details about my life and my thoughts and feelings, etc. So yeah, please consider supporting me there. It really helps me out. I don't make a ton of money here on YouTube, so if you want me to continue making both free content here on YouTube and you want more exclusive content to get to know me, please consider supporting me on Patreon. You don't have to stay with it, but even if you just stay for a month, or you can leave, you can stay for a month and come back every once in a while. You're always welcome back. If you are a prior patron, you've been here before, you're welcome to come back again. But please do not sign up unless you can afford it, because you will get banned if you do not carry through with your pledge. So yeah, other than that, thank you for listening, thank you for watching. Please like this video, leave a comment down below to help support my channel. If you have not already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and you can also follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Comic95. I have a Snapchat and a TikTok at Comic the Savior. I also have a Facebook fan page at Comic95 the Savior and a blog at comic95.com. So that's all for this video. Thank you so much for listening and watching. And please stay tuned. I will be, making more videos and sharing more videos. There's a lot of stuff that I have backed up that I need to edit, so give me some time. I'm not sure when I'll post my next video, but I'm glad that they're reopening Japan and you guys will be able to come here soon. So yeah, please make sure your notifications are on so you can see when my videos get posted. I would like to do another live stream again, but I'll ask you guys, tell me in the comments if you like when you would like to have another live stream, and we can vote. And I'll probably do like a poll or something, so we'll figure something out with that. I know that you guys like my live streams, but yeah, thank you so much for supporting me. Please make sure you watch my older videos here on YouTube. I have playlists for everything, for working, studying, dating, living in Japan. I've probably already made a video answering your questions, but if you have a specific video you would like for me to make, even if you've already asked before, please leave a comment below or send me an email if it's private, and I promise you I will try my best to make a video answering your question in a future upcoming video. No questions too silly or too stupid, as long as it's not, too offensive or too inappropriate, or even then, it's probably fine too, wouldn't hurt to ask. Please feel free to ask me. I will not share your name or any personal information. It will stay private, but I really just want to help you, and I love video ideas. It gives me things to talk about and think about, and yeah, I want to make videos that you guys actually want to watch and that you will enjoy. I'm sorry for such a long video, but I know that many of you watch my videos on your way to and from work, and as background noise while you're studying or eating your food, because I don't know, you live alone, you're lonely, whatever. So thank you for your support. Thank you for your likes and for your love and for all of the kind things you've said about me, and I really, really, really do appreciate it. So thank you so much. I know my channel is small and you might think, oh, it's nothing, whatever, but I truly feel like a celebrity, like I'm really loved, because it's so crazy that people that I would never meet in the real world, like that you guys are living in Europe and South Asia and places I've never even been before, that people have found my channel and that they like me and you see me as a friend or family member to you. Like, it means so much to me, especially since I grew up, not having a lot of female friends, and I never had sisters, so I literally feel like some of you guys have become my big sisters, or even little sisters. I've always wanted a little sister, so it makes me, or good big sisters for that matter. I wish I had that too. I feel so good. I know that for a lot of you, I'm your big sister, so I feel just so grateful to have you guys, and thank you for being kind to me, especially for those of you that always leave comments and that always like my videos, and that, always click on your notifications as soon as you get them. Like, I know that you guys are busy and you have your own lives too. I really appreciate you. You have no idea how much that means to me. I remember like making my videos back in the day and just being happy to get one like, or to have like, you know, one view on a video or one comment. It meant so much to me, and I still have videos to this day that like have no comments. So thank you for watching my stuff and commenting and interacting with me, and for being nice to me, because I know you don't always agree and some of the things I say might even offend you, but thank you for being respectful towards me and for being open-minded and watching my content, and for not being so sensitive, and for just accepting me for who I am and hearing me out and not being argumentative, but really listening to me to understand and to learn rather than to react and to get angry. So thank you so much. That doesn't go unnoticed. I really appreciate it. I do memorize and notice the usernames of people that constantly comment on my videos and that, you know, interact and comment on my posts on Instagram and even on Twitter. So thank you guys so much for your love. And yeah, like, don't forget to follow me there. Like, it's free. If you can't afford Patreon, that really helps me out a lot. If you're on Patreon, don't forget to follow like those pages too. It's free. You don't have to use them. Just the fact that you've given me a follow or a like, it does help me. So that's it for now. I will update you guys very soon. Just give me some time to finish editing some more videos and deciding when to put stuff out. But I am still here. Sorry to disappoint. I'm still alive. And yes, as I said before, I have graduated from Baldheaded University. My hair is back. I feel more confident than ever. My life is not perfect, but I feel really good at where I am in life right now. I don't have everything together. I do want to get married. I do want to have kids. But I am satisfied with the fact that I'm just still here and alive. And there's so much that God has planned for me, and there's so much that I want to do with my life, and I know that I can do it. So, and it's thanks to you that I'm able to. So again, thank you so much for your love and support, and for allowing me to be myself. So thank you for listening, and thank you for watching, and I hope you'll watch another video. Stay tuned. Bye.